Look around you. In your office, your social circles, your family. There are always those few individuals who operate differently. When they speak, rooms quiet down. Their time is never wasted. Their no is accepted without argument. For years, you might have thought their power came from a title, wealth, or innate talent. But that's a myth we tell ourselves to avoid a more uncomfortable truth. The real divide between those who are respected and those who are overlooked isn't about external success. It's about an internal operating system. It's a set of psychological principles that the respected understand intuitively, and the overlooked have never been taught. These principles have nothing to do with being loud, aggressive, or domineering. In fact, they're often quiet, subtle, and incredibly powerful. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly what they are and how to install this operating system in your own life. 1. The approval trap. The hidden weakness of being liked. Let's start with a brutal diagnosis. The single biggest thing holding you back from genuine respect is your desire to be liked. Think about the last time you felt dismissed, interrupted, or taken for granted. Replay that scene in your head. Now, ask yourself one question: in that moment, who needed whose approval more? The person disrespecting you knew, on some level, that you valued their goodwill more than they valued yours. They knew you would prioritize harmony over your own dignity. This creates a predictable pattern. When you make being liked your primary goal, you become predictable. People know you'll smile when you're insulted. They know you'll agree when you disagree. They know you'll be available when you're busy. And predictability is the enemy of power. We are wired to want what we can't have and to dismiss what comes too easily. When you chase approval, you are literally making yourself less valuable in the social marketplace. You are saying, my validation is something you can give me, and in doing so, you hand others the power to withhold it. The people you truly respect in your life, were they the ones constantly seeking your validation? Or were they the ones who seemed self-contained, whose opinion of themselves wasn't swayed by yours? This isn't just anecdotal. It's a core tenet of human psychology. Respect cannot be begged for, it must be demonstrated through self-worth. 2. The currency of consequence, how respect is actually built. So if respect doesn't come from being agreeable, where does it come from? One word: consequences. Respect is not an emotion, it's a calculation. It's the subconscious cost-benefit analysis everyone runs before they interact with you. When someone knows that disrespecting you will have an immediate, tangible cost, losing access to you, your help, your presence, your approval, they will think twice. Let's break this down with a practical example. Scenario A: a coworker constantly dumps last-minute work on you. You sigh, complain to your partner at home, but you do it. The cost to them? 0. You have just trained them that this behavior is free. The behavior continues. Scenario B: the same thing happens. You calmly say, I can't take this on with my current workload. In the future, I need to be included in the planning phase on Monday to avoid this. The cost? They now have to do their own work or plan better. The behavior likely stops. You didn't need to get angry. You simply enforced a consequence. This is the language of respect. That nice people who are constantly treated the worst are simply those who have trained everyone around them that bad behavior has no consequences. They have made themselves a safe place to deposit disrespect. 3. The framework of self-ownership, your psychological upgrade. Understanding the theory is one thing. Implementing it is another. This is your framework for building unshakable self-ownership. These are not isolated tricks, they are interconnected principles. Principle 1, Sovereign communication: speak less, act more. Stop over-explaining. Your need to justify your decisions comes from a place of seeking understanding and approval. Respectable people inform, they don't justify. Their actions are their statements. If a boundary is crossed, they don't give a speech, they enact the consequence. Silence is often more powerful than 1,000 words. Principle 2, unshakable composure, master your emotional state. When someone attacks you, insults you, or tries to provoke you, they are attempting to trigger an emotional response. Why? Because if they can control your emotions, they control you. Your greatest defense is calm, detached indifference. Responding to a hurricane with the stillness of a mountain doesn't make you weak, it shows you are untouchable. It terrifies manipulators because their tools no longer work. Principle 3, strategic scarcity, become a value, not a utility. Utilities are taken for granted. Water comes out of the tap, electricity comes from the wall. We don't think about them until they're gone. If you are always available, always saying yes, always responsive, you become a utility. Your time and attention have no perceived value. By becoming strategically scarce, prioritizing your own goals, being selective with your yes, not always being instantly available, you transform from a utility into a valued resource. People pursue what is scarce. Principle 4, non-negotiable boundaries, the art of the swift, silent no. Boundaries are not threats. They are promises you make to yourself. The key to enforcement is speed and clarity, not severity. A small, immediate consequence is far more effective than a large, delayed one. You don't need to announce your boundaries to everyone you meet. You simply enforce them when they are crossed. No drama, no long explanations. Just action. 4. The transformation. What happens when you change? When you start implementing this framework, your life will change. It won't always be easy. Some people will leave. The ones who only valued you for what you could do for them will vanish. See this not as a loss, but as a purification of your social circle. But what remains will be profound. You will attract relationships based on mutual respect, not transactional need. Your confidence will skyrocket because it will be built on the bedrock of your own actions, not the fickle opinions of others. Opportunities will find you because people are drawn to those who value themselves. You will experience a psychological freedom you might never have known, the freedom of no longer being a slave to what other people think. This journey isn't about becoming cold, cruel, or manipulative. It's about the opposite. It's about becoming so strong in your self-worth that you can be kind without fear of being taken advantage of. You can be generous from a place of abundance, not lack. You can be authentic because you're no longer afraid of disapproval. The world is full of people begging to be liked. It creates a lot of noise and desperation. Be the exception. Be the calm, centered, unpredictable force that commands respect not by demanding it, but by embodying it. The most respected person you know started exactly where you are right now. They simply decided that their own respect was the only non-negotiable starting point. It's your turn to make that decision. If this video gave you a new perspective, like and subscribe for more content that cuts through the noise and gives you real tools for personal power. Share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these principles is the hardest for you to implement? Let me know in the comments below.